This is a maker of online inspiration boards.
Right.
How much can it monetize that? It's clearly doing pretty well in advertising so far, but is it really worth, $15 to $17 a share for 75 million shares in an IPO?
Right, and expectations have certainly come down over the past couple of years. I mean, part of the story here is that Pinterest had raised at a $12 billion valuation, and now at the upper range, it seems like it's going to be a $9 billion company. So expectations for Pinterest are falling, and I think part of the challenge that you're alluding to is just whether they're going to be comparable to a social media company. Pinterest sort of wants to tell this story that investors need to think about them differently from a Snap or Facebook with sort of different metrics. And I think the amount that they can get investors to buy the story they want to tell versus sort of an unfavorable comparison to social media companies, I think that will be a big challenge for them.
I mean, as we say in the Bloomberg story, it is a digital scrapbook. It has 256 million people using it. Its net loss shrunk to $63 million from $130 million. Can it continue on this trajectory? Can it continue to improve?
It's funny covering Lyft sort of constantly, which went out and has sort of bobbed above the $72 IPO price. Lyft obviously has a $911 million loss. So I think to some degree, the expectations around ride sharing for losses are creating a sort of favorable point of comparison for Pinterest and other companies like Slack that might have a direct listing. They can say certainly we'll have a path to profitability. It's just a question of how much, you know what I mean? There isn't that same sort of market share fight or anything like that. It's just whether Pinterest is going to be some transformational company or it's really reached the ceiling that it can have as sort of a pinboard app.
Very briefly, Eric, is there much interest in this particular IPO?
I think so, proportional to the price, but I don't think it's compared to sort of the Uber story coming, the dominant IPO conversation.